Hi, it's me, Tammy, and welcome back to Lesson 3. Please send me a card. Let's read the article and answer the question, how many cards did the writer send? It says, I bought 37 cards. So he bought 37 cards. Postcards always spoil my holidays. Spoil means to diminish or destroy the value of something, to ruin something. Last summer, I went to Italy. I visited museums. Museum is a place that we go to when we want to see historical objects or scientific objects. It's in a museum is a building that has historical or scientific or artistic or cultural objects and set in public gardens. A friendly means nice, someone who's nice to you. A waiter is someone who serves you food at a restaurant. Taught me a few words of Italian. He lent me a book. Lend means when you give someone something, but when they finish with it, they must return it back to you. I read a few lines, but I did not understand a word. Every day I thought about postcards. Postcards are little notes that we write on a card and send to family and friends. My holidays passed quickly, but I did not send cards to my friends. On the last day, I made a big decision. A decision means when we come to a conclusion about something we have been thinking about. We've made a conclusion on it. I got up early and bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room. Whole means all. But I did not write a single card. Single means one. So let's go through the article again and read it. Postcards, cards that are notes that we write on cards and send to people, always spoil my holidays. Spoil, ruin my holidays. Last summer, I went to Italy. I visited museums, a building that has historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural things in it for us to look at, and set in public gardens. Public means people in general. A nice waiter taught me a few words of Italian. Then he lent me a book. He gave me a book that I had to return. I read a few lines, but I did not understand a word. Every day I thought about postcards. My holiday passed quickly, but I did not send. Send means to cause to go somewhere. I did not cause the card to go anywhere to my friends. On the last day, I made a big decision. I came to a conclusion about what I was thinking about. I got up early and bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room. I spent all day in my room, but I did not write a single card. I did not write one card. Now let's answer this question. How many cards did the writer send? It says here, I did not send cards to my friends. So he did not send any cards to his friends. Now let's answer some questions about what we've just read. Number 1, do postcards always spoil the writer's holidays or not? Postcards always spoil my holidays. So postcards always spoils his holidays. Number 2, where did he spend his holidays last summer? He spent his holidays in Italy last summer. Number 3, what did he think about every day? He thought about postcards every day. Number 4, did he send any cards to his friends or not? He did not send any cards to his friends. Number 5, how many cards did he buy on the last day? He bought 37 cards on the last day. Number 6, where did he stay all day? He stayed in his room all day. Did he write any cards or not? He did not write a single card. What happened? Let's read these short sentences or this short conversation and learn what happened. Did you see the accident, sir? Yes, I did. The driver of that car hit that post over there. So the car hit the post. What happened? A dog ran across the road and the driver tried to avoid it. The car suddenly came towards me. It climbed on the pavement and crashed into that post. So these are words we can use when we want to tell what happened. Let's look at the passage again and put a line under all the verbs that tell us what happened. Postcards always spoil my holidays. Last summer I went to Italy. I visited museums and sat in a public garden. A friendly waiter taught me a few words of Italian. Then he lent me a book. I read a few lines, but I did not understand. I did not understand. Every day I thought about postcards. My holidays passed quickly, but I did not send cards to my friends. On the last day, I made a big decision. I got up early and bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room, but I did not write a single card. Now, let's put the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. Last summer, I went to Italy. I visited museums and sat in a public garden. A friendly waiter taught me a few words of Italian. Then he lent me a book. I read a few lines, but I did not understand a word. Every day I thought about postcards. My holidays passed quickly, but I did not send cards to my friends. On the last day, I made a big decision. I got up early and bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room, but I did not write a single card. Now let's do the same thing here in section C. We're going to give the correct verbs in the parentheses. My friend Roy died last year. He left me his CD player and his collection of CDs. Roy spent a lot of money on CDs. He bought 1 or 2 new CDs every week. He never went to the cinema or to the theater. He stayed at home every evening and listened to music. He often lent CDs to his friends. Sometimes they kept them. He lost many CDs in this way. There are 2 ways or more than one way we can say certain sentences. Let's take a look at this. Instead of saying he lent me a book, we can say he lent a book to me. Instead of saying he sent me a card, we can say he sent a card to me. He passed me the salt, or he passed the salt to me. She bought me a tie. She bought a tie for me. She made me a cake. She made a cake for me. Now let's write each of these sentences in a different way. Number 1, he paid the shopkeeper some money. The shopkeeper was paid some money by him. He handed me the prize. The prize was handed to me. The waiter brought a bottle of beer to the man. A bottle of beer was brought to the man. He sold all his books to me. All his books were sold to me. The shop's assistant found some curtain material for me. Some curtain material was found for me. He did me a big favor. A big favor was done for me. She showed her husband her new head. Her husband was showed her new head. Her husband was shown her new head. She promised a reward to the finder. A reward was promised to the finder by her. He gave his son some advice. His son was given some advice by him. His uncle left him some money. Some money was left for him by his uncle. He is teaching English to us. He is teaching English to us. English is being taught to us by him. 12. I bought this bunch of flowers for you. This bunch of flowers was bought for you. 13. Bring that book to me, please. Please bring me that book. 14. He offered me a cigarette. A cigarette was offered to me by him. 15. Read me that first paragraph. That first paragraph was read to me. I've ordered some soup for you. Some soup was ordered for you. I owe him a lot of money. A lot of money is owed to him by me. Pass the mustard to your father. The mustard was passed to your father. Comprehension. Number 1. The writer doesn't like buying postcards. The writer doesn't like writing postcards. Number 2. What was the writer's big decision? He decided to buy a lot of postcards. Number 3. Last summer, he went to Italy. He was in Italy last summer. Number 4. This is the answer, the waiter. So the question is, who taught him a few words of Italian? Number 5. 5. He was a friendly waiter. He spoke to the waiter in a friendly way. He spoke to the waiter in a nice way. Number 6. The writer blank a few lines, but he didn't understand a word. The writer read a few lines, but he didn't understand a word. Number 7. He spent the whole day in his room. He spent all day in his room. He was in his room not all of the day, but he was in his room all day. Vocabulary. Let's go over some new vocabulary, new vocabulary that you've already learned. Number 8. A waiter usually works in a restaurant. A waiter usually works in a restaurant. Number 9. The waiter lent him a book. Lent means when you give someone something, but they must give it back. So the waiter lent him a book. He borrowed a book from the waiter. Number 10. On the last day, he made a big decision. He came to a conclusion about something he was thinking about. It was the blank day of his holiday. He came to his big decision on the last day of his holiday. Another way we can say last was final or in the end. But here we would say it was the it was the final day of his holiday. Number 11, he made a big decision. He blank. When you make up a big decision, you make up your mind about something you've been thinking about. So he made a big decision. He made up his mind. Number 12, he didn't write a single card. So he didn't write even one. Let's rewrite this sentence. I did not send my friends cards. I did not send a single card to my friends. I did not send a single card to my friends.